Welcome to the LittleFernFibers Knitting and Crafting Podcast. My name is Ellie, and this is a podcast where I talk about knitting and spinning and projects that I am working on or hoping to be working on or should be working on or all of the above. So I'm so glad you're here. If you're following along, welcome. If you're new, it's just so fun to have a space to share a craft that you love so much, and it's been so fun to see kind of a little gathering of like-minded people and to connect with people in a new way. So thank you for following along. If you are, you're welcome to subscribe. I don't have a time frame as far as new episodes coming out, mainly because in a few weeks here I will be expecting our second daughter, so just a couple weeks time here, so we're patiently waiting. But yeah, so I'm not sure when the next one was gonna be. I figure that I'm probably not gonna have a lot of knitting done in the next few months. Maybe I'll surprise myself, and I will. But to have, maybe some content for the next video, I thought it would be maybe fun to do like a Q&A. I've had questions from people, and so if you have any questions, it could be whatever. Write it down below in the comments if you'd like, or maybe I'll post something about it on Instagram, where we are at LittleFernFibers if you're interested, and that could be kind of a fun topic in case I don't have a lot of progress to show you on my knitting. So today it's probably gonna be kind of quick. Our daughter is having maybe a sleep phase of tricky with naps and tricky with bedtime, where we are sitting in with her until she falls asleep, which has never really been the case, but all of a sudden it is. So maybe she's probably in on the change. I think she knows that things are kind of about to shift, and I think it's just a phase. But so I'm gonna try and go quickly here because I don't know how long we're gonna have. So I'll go ahead and get started. I do have a couple of finished objects from last time. One of them being the pair of socks that I knit for our daughter that are similar to the socks that I knit for myself using the Arne & Carlos design line Regia. And here they are, simple and sweet. I used a contrasting color of just this goldenrod scrap yarn that I had for the heel, toe, and cuff. But here they are, so they match mine. She'll be able to grow into them a little bit. They're a little bit big yet, but it was just a basic toddler pattern that I followed from a book that I'll put a link to. It was like knitting in Norway. I'm not sure, Norwegian knits something, but it was a really basic just toddler sock pattern. So I'm really happy with how they turned out. I'm hopefully gonna come up with a way to have them not be so slippy on the bottom. I know I talked about that in my last podcast, that we have all hardwood floors mainly in our house, and so it just becomes like an ice skating rink with socks on. So we'll see about that. And in that same kind of line of things, I also finished her gnome slippers that she was asking for, because my husband and I have similar pairs, and she seems to want her own. So I knit her own little gnome slippers, and here they are. Doot, doot, doot. Little pointy toe. It's a free pattern on Ravelry called Medieval Beanpod Slippers. I knit like a little leaf on there, like a little eyelet. stitch pattern in there just to put on the back so that she can use it to help it up her foot when she's trying to put it on. So here they are. Here's the pair. But the pattern is free. It's for adults. But I kind of just made it up, kind of kept trying it on as she would let me as I went. And it did take me a couple attempts, but once I got the first one down and kind of tried to write down what I did, the second one took like no time at all. So this was just scrap yarn that I had. I used pretty chunky needles. I think I used like a size 9 and probably worsted weight yarn. And again, just a little leaves to put on there so she can just slide around. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I read something that you could put like hot glue on the bottoms, and it works. Like it prevents her from slipping around too much, but it's really rigid, and I feel like she can feel that under her foot. And it also, not that it's a big deal, because when you have a toddler, you have like constant mess anyways, but it leaves like scuff marks on the floor, which is fine because you can just like boop, 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 wipe them up. But like, you know, clearly this probably isn't the best solution for having grip on the bottom of toddler socks. It works for now. So I don't know, I've heard of sock drops, so maybe I'll look into something like that for this pair, or puff paint. Maybe I'll try that too. So those were 2 things for our daughter that I finished. And actually, okay, I think she is back down, which is hopefully the case, because it has not been what it has been lately. She's like a little billy goat and climbs out. So we'll see. Another little project that I finished, I did want to knit something for the baby's room. And just because I felt like I knit a lot for Fern's room, and this was just like a quick little fun pattern just to have like on the shelf. It's just a little mushroom. This is a pattern called, I think, Woolly Mushroom. It was free on Ravelry. I'll link to everything down below and try and put pictures. I modified it. The original pattern has a long stem, and I kind of wanted something like short and squat and just boop, boop. So just scrap yarn, super quick to knit. Directions were easy to follow. These were just little embroidered French knots. Stuffed it, and yeah, it knit up super fast. And then I remember with Fern, our daughter, she like loved like tactile, like crinkly things, you know, or if she was crying in the middle of the night. I had knit like some heart, you know, a string of hearts and these like little feathers, and I put like a bell on some and like crinkly paper in some of them. And you know, you could kind of do that and seem to kind of like distract her or get her mind off of crying in the middle of the night sometimes. So I put some crinkle paper in the top of the mushroom, so it just sits on a little shelf, and who knows how it will be played with or if it will be played with, but for now it's on the shelf and it looks nice, so we'll see about that. But I made that, and then I also finished just a few of the little garments for the Santa's clothesline that I had mentioned in the last podcast. This is super fun to knit because they knit up so quickly, but you're doing like an actual garment construction for some of them. Just again, scrap yarn that I had. This is just a little scarf, some little green fringe. Super easy. I just held red and white together to give that little look. It's fun. I just have it tucked in a little bag here with needles ready to go and the yarn, so I can kind of pick things up as I go. Here's the little hat. Boop, boop. Little Santa's hat. Again, they knit up so fast, so it's super satisfying. And these are going to go hopefully in their little advent calendar that I purchased and found on Facebook Marketplace. So we'll see how that goes. And then here's the little trousers. They have little straps, and again, just scrap yarn, but you know, there's actually a little shape to them, which is fun. And yeah, I've finished these 3. I think there's maybe, I don't know, there's socks, there's boots, there's a shirt, there's long johns. I don't know. So hopefully in the next few months, I'll have time to whip those out too. So that's been fun. I haven't worked on those for a while. Over the past, maybe a week ago or 2 now, my aunt and I went to the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival, which is kind of a little northwest of us, more in like central Wisconsin-ish, southern central Wisconsin. And she's a big knitter. She's who I learned from. So we went over the weekend, and it was so fun. It was fun to, you know, see the sheep, and there was a big variety of vendors and yarns and crafts and people. It was good to see people. You know, it was busy, and yeah, it was cool to see, and I'd never been to that one before, so that was fun. I didn't buy any yarn. I got some ideas though, and definitely some vendors and things that I want to check out more, but just now was not the time. I feel like I already have, you know, yarn and projects ready to go for so many things that I didn't want to keep filling my plate until I took a few things off. So what I did get was just this little project bag. Yeah, I thought it was so cute. It's a little running stitch and a little tassel and a zipper on there, and it's perfect for small projects, and I can just kind of tote it around the house and outside with us, and yeah, it's been great. So that's what I got, and the needles don't poke through, which is nice, because I feel like a lot of times if I'm using sharp needles or double points, some of the bags that I have used like in the past, the needles will poke out, and nobody wants that. So this was fun, and yeah, it was really fun to go with her and even see some of like you know, the small businesses that I follow, or you know, kind of peek at their stuff every once in a while. It's fun to like see their actual booth and what they've got lined up. So that was really cool, and I'm glad that we went together. That was special. The other thing that I have been working on, a work in progress. If I seem like I'm talking really fast, 1, it's because I feel like I don't have like any time, and 2, it's still tricky to breathe a little bit, so hopefully I can keep up, but I'm gonna keep going at this pace. I'm not drinking anything cool. I feel like when you watch knitting podcasts, they all have cool drinks. It's raspberry leaf tea, which doesn't really taste that good, but maybe it'll help with labor or whatever. I don't know if that's a thing, but we're trying it anyways. All right, so in my Magner project bag, which I love, that I received as a gift for my birthday, is the Morel Sweater by Fiber Tales. And I showed this in the last podcast. I'm using Plotulopi, which is the Istex unspun yarn. And this sweater and I think are going to be acquaintances for a while. It's going to be a little more long-term than I thought, which is okay. But this is how far I am. I think last time I honestly was probably like here. I split for the sleeves, so that's big. But maybe I was up there. So I made a little progress. Here it is. And not too many more mistakes. I know I showed it last time, but I do have a mistake in the detail there. I have a section of pearls when it should be backdropped by knit stitches, so that's all right. I'm gonna leave it. I love how it's knitting up though. I think the cabling and the cherries are beautiful, and now that I'm kind of in like the thick of the body and the pattern, it's super easy. I don't pick it up a lot because I do kind of have to think about it. I don't sit down with it enough for chunks of time that I like memorize the cabling or the, know what's next depending on what row I am. So it's kind of like when I have a good chunk of time, and lately that has not been the case, so that's okay. Yeah, and then the back is all this beautiful moss stitch, which is what takes me the longest. But I'm really enjoying working on it, and I like how the yarn is knitting up. It's not too itchy. This isn't too itchy to me, and I'll always probably wear something under it. But it's been fun using the unspun for the first time, and I think it's going to be beautiful once it's blocked and kind of has a chance to bloom. So that's that. And then another project that I just started. I don't know, I think it was like on the first day of fall. It was really windy. I just needed like a change. We've had like really tricky nights, not a lot of sleep, and I needed something to like clear my system or clear my brain or get me thinking. So I wanted to kind of have like a quicker but bigger satisfying project. So I had a stash of yarn. I think, did I have the ball band? Because I used it and then I ripped it out, and I'm pretty sure it's Cascade Eco Wool, so it's their bulky yarn, but it's the I'm Obsessed jumper by Brenda something, I'm not sure. I'll put a link to it, but it's just a basic oversized cozy slouchy jumper, and this is what I have so far. So it's a really bulky yarn, super bulky needles. I'm using like an 11 for the body, so it's knitting up super quickly. Body's all in stockinette. This ribbing here was twisted rib, 1x1. So this is what I have so far. I started it yesterday. Easy, kind of mindless to carry around with me. This is a new designer and obviously a new pattern to me, but I found it by, doing a search on Ravelry for a bulky weight yarn sweater. And I was excited to find it. I think it was actually like just released like a week ago. So I'll be curious. I've been trying to kind of see if people have been finishing their projects and see how they turn out, but it's a fun sweater. I don't have any sweaters that have that similar design, so hopefully I can kind of like knock it out maybe before the baby is born, but we'll see. It's been fun to knit on, and we'll see how quick it goes, but so far so good. It's pretty quick, so maybe that will be finished next time I talk to you. And I have it in this gray project bag that I've been really excited to share. Here it is. I think it's gonna be have so much purpose. I went from having like 0 project bags, like literally using like a canvas small business Saturday bag that I think I got years ago, to now I have four bags, and they all have projects and they all serve their own purpose. So I think I'm set. But when I saw this, I definitely wanted to snag it. Super special in that the pattern on here, this little mushroom and moth pattern, and then this beautiful Botanical pattern on the inside is by a Wisconsin artist. She does weaving, and I know she does graphic design. Her name is Katie Boland. Here's her little, and I still actually have the tags on. They're pretty tags. Katie Boland. She is on Instagram, and so she designed the fabric, which I thought was wonderful, and I was so excited to support her work because she is from Wisconsin. And then the bag itself was made by a husband and wife duo who are also in Wisconsin, and it's wonderfully sewn, super durable, but like lightweight. And I like the Magner bag is great, but it's a little rigid, which is perfect for you know, projects that call for that. But this is great. It's, you can kind of, I'm not so worried about it, but it holds up so well too. So the husband and wife duo are called Silver Bird Studio, and I will put a link to them as well. Here's their little cute little logo. And so they worked as a collaboration together, so two Wisconsin makers. And yeah, it cinches with these nice little leather ties here and holds the project perfectly. And I purchased it, I saw it on Instagram, and they were releasing just kind of like a limited batch of them at a yarn store in Neenah, Wisconsin, called the Fiber Shop. So I will put a link to that as well. But yeah, it was so fun to support, you know, the Wisconsin making community, and I don't know, that's really special and important to me. So I was really excited to snatch that up. And let's see what else. I don't think I have too much else. I don't have many other projects in the works or projects that I'm thinking about. Maybe some socks, which, like, I can't believe I'm saying that because I've never really been a sock knitter, but I feel like slowly but surely I'm becoming a sock knitter. Hopefully it's not too distracting with my glasses and the glare, but oh well. So maybe socks just to have a small project to carry around when the baby is here, or not. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like I have a good amount of projects going that I should probably stay where I'm at. And I have like long-term projects that I'll talk about, I'm sure, in future episodes, but that holds me back too, that I don't want like millions and millions of projects. But a good handful is all right with me because I like having the variety. So I don't have too much else to show. I suppose I will show what I am wearing, which is the Anna's cardigan My Size by Petite Knit. And I knit this maybe 2 years ago, and it has the sweet little eyelet pattern all over. Just a basic cardigan. You can see there. Yeah, it fits really well when I'm not 9 months pregnant. I think I used Quince & Co. Chickadee, maybe? I don't quite remember. But I like the yarn. Honestly, it's really pilly, which I'm a little disappointed about. So I use like a fabric shaver on it a lot. But I do also wear it a lot. And it is super soft, and I know that softer yarn is obviously gonna pill a bit more. But yeah, I wear it often. The button band, I did add like a little lining to it. Come a little bit closer and see if I can show it. So it's just a little, you can see it's not perfect, but it's just a little vintage like floral ribbon that I sewed the button bands, and then using a sewing machine did like the button setting to make little buttonholes, and same thing on the other side. But I thought it gave it kind of like a little whimsical, delicate look. I mean, you can't really see it that much, but I do wear it like this a lot, even when I'm not pregnant. So yeah, that was that. And I made a matching one for Fern, which she still can fit into. She's been able to it's been able to kind of grow with her. And hers is here. So hers is I think just the normal Anna's cardigan. But it's so fun because we can wear it together and we match, and I'll have to knit one for the baby soon, or maybe knit another one for Fern. That's probably a better idea. I should do that. So yeah, super sweet. I think this was maybe the size, 12-month size? 18-month size? 2? I don't know. I don't remember. But it still fits her. And she does actually wear it a lot, which is great. And same thing with hers. I put on the little button band. And instead of, I kind of wish I would have done the same for mine. But on hers, I just used, I don't know if that's gonna focus, clear little, I don't know what those are called, the little snaps, clear little snaps. So much easier with putting on a squirmy toddler. So I just have those going all the way down, and they work really well. It stays closed. She's not gonna like tear the buttons apart, because let's be real, like when she wants it off now. She's like ripping at it. So yeah, that works really well. And then I just did like mismatched buttons. I thought that looked super sweet. It's kind of hard to tell in this lighting, but they are all kind of different colors, and I just sewed those, kind of trying to be in line with the snaps so that it looked cohesive. But yeah, so that's that. And maybe I should go through my stash and pick out another, see if I have any yarn for a second one of these, because it was fun to knit up. But that's kind of all I have for today. Again, sorry if it's fast talking or whatever, but I'm surprised that I got this far, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, so like I said before, I don't know when the next one is going to be. I would love to, keep it going as often as I can when the baby does arrive. But we'll see what that actually means. All right, sorry, I had to pause. I heard a suspicious noise and I wasn't sure if it was her or it actually was just a squirrel outside. So again, if you'd like to ask a question for the next podcast down below, you're welcome to do so in the comments. That would be a fun way to kind of fill those up, just because I don't think I will have too much to show next time, although maybe I will start to show kind of like past projects or some of those longer long-term projects. So with that being said, thank you again so much for watching and following along. If you'd like to subscribe, go ahead. That is such a cool thing to see, that people want to kind of take along, and on these kind of wonky podcasts that I do. But thank you for following along if you do, and I will link to everything that I talked about as well. But yeah, anything that you're working on, projects that you have going, I'd love to see what you're working on. And with the change of the season wherever you are, I hope that is bringing on some knitting energy here. Fall is definitely just about here. The last few days have been so wonderfully breezy and cool and refreshing, and the sky has been like the dark almost like stormy, heavy looking sky, but with sun at the same time, which is, I feel like, such a harbinger of autumn. So that's been wonderful, and to have a cool breeze through the house is so refreshing too. So I hope you have lots of stitches on your needles and lots of projects rolling around in your head, and maybe a lot of projects in the works. Maybe not enough needles for all those projects. All your needles are full. Those are all good problems to have, I feel like. So maybe if you have one of those, I hope you're enjoying the process, and yeah, have some beautiful yarn and stitches on your needles. So again, thank you for following along. Next time there may be another little one, so we'll see, but I have a feeling the next time I record will be definitely probably after I have her. So yeah, all sweet seasonal changes to you, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Thanks.